I am Johnny Paper. The synth would not work. I tried everything, but nothing. It felt like the dream energy had vanished. There were connectors and knobs on this thing I have never seen in any country. I have worked with many analog and digital synthesizers. This was another deal. So I called an old friend from work. He's a synthesizer expert. I told him the whole story about the light, the healing, the dreams. He laughed, said I needed a shrink, that maybe I was unwell. That hurt. My job felt threatened, like I had crossed some invisible line. And I read about a neuroscientist who healed himself after being told he'd never walk again. Something in me said, he's been where I've been, had to meet him. We met. He was real, grounded. He said mystical experiences are part of the soul's evolution, but warned me, don't share too much with those who won't understand. You can lose energy. He didn't say it, but I felt he knew exactly what I was talking about. Then he taught me a breathing meditation that could ignite the pineal gland by pressurizing the spinal fluid. I hurried home to try this out. It was intense. The breath like a wave charging up my spine. Then it happened. A deep green light began forming behind my closed eyes, brighter and brighter, until I could see the whole room bathed in green, even though my eyes were still shut. A vibration rose inside me so strong, I opened my eyes, and I was there, in an ancient Golden Inca City filled with radiant temples and towers of sound. A place of deep reverence, built on celestial harmonics. Their devotion to sound was clear in every detail. They built a sacred place, the Temple of Sound, one of the most magnificent ever conceived. Above ground, grandeur. Below, eternal sanctuaries for the initiated. I witnessed a lecture on the cosmic laws of sound. The lecture followed a performance by an Indian master who twisted every conception I've had about music. His music raised my vibration up to the point I could enter the temple. Inside this temple were rooms unlike anything imaginable. In one, the laws of physics were flexible. I could hear and reproduce frequencies far beyond human range. This was a place to explore higher sonic dimensions. In another room, pyramid synthesizers stood in formation. This was where you mastered your energy balance. In your chest, 3 luminous colors grew when harmonized. They unlocked new musical power. New rooms existed. One where instruments floated in walls of living light, each one responding only to inner virtues. Another room echoed with chants from forgotten civilizations. Each taught a universal truth through sound. But definitely one of the rooms that stood out the most was the room of forbidden tempo. No matter how hard I tried, I could never find consistent rhythm, but still managed to produce the most beautiful harmonies. Sound was more than vibration. It was sacred energy. It healed, revealed, and realigned. I understood, at least partly, what real love is. That immense, unspeakable gratitude. After such experiences, all I wanted was to be what they are. The master returned. It was like he overheard my thought. His eyes were like sunlight through crystal. He said, "You cannot receive what has not been earned. You deserve this and much more. What seems mysterious only appears so, because it is unexplained. All things are lawful when understood. Everyone who tunes into the truth anchored within his heart and brain and feels that truth deeply many times a day, realizing and knowing, will have sound fill his mind and body, so full of light, there is no room for anything else. I woke up gasping. My studio was glowing. The pyramid's synth was playing frequencies I'd never imagined. And the symbols, the same ones from the temple, were swirling through the air. But something was different this time. As the frequencies intensified and the symbols hovered midair, one of them, a radiant sigil I had never seen, began to pulse with a rhythm that matched my heartbeat. Then it stopped. Everything went still. In the silence, a single tone echoed from the synth, or maybe a warning. I stepped closer, and just before everything faded, I heard a voice, not normal, but unmistakably real. It whispered my name. To be continued.